Good morning, 8:31 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm XRP Future Millionaire and I reside in the great state of Michigan on this Tuesday, September 6, 2022. As you can see, XRP's at 33.59, up 0.96%. Bitcoin's up to 19,918. XRP got all the way up to the 34 resistance level. It just missed it. We seem to be putting in some kind of W reversal here on the 20-day, and this could bring it back up to 34.34. It could also be building some kind of weird head and shoulders pattern here, where it came up. Now, it would have to come and get rejected here. That was a really harsh pullback down, but there is a small bearish Gartley forming right here that could possibly bring us back up here. I thought if it came up to 33 or 34, it would have an opportunity to hit 34.72. It never came all the way up there just yet, but it did complete a small area of resistance where it finally fell through at 34.32, came down, but now it's bouncing, unfortunately, between the 33.26 support and 34.32 resistance. We wanted it to be a lower down, one level, and ideally the spot to short when it hit this downtrending support would have been if it got rejected at this 32.49 bear flag, but it did not. It broke right back in, broke out of it. Now, unfortunately, it's only back testing the breakout of the bear flag. So this morning we have an extreme amount of fear in the market as far as, is it going to go up? Is it going to go down? I still stand pat and I say you pay attention to the pattern in front of us. Don't get too far out ahead of yourself. This bear flag's barely broken yet, and if we can get back up inside of the normal bear flag and use this as support, well, then maybe we could try something up to the further ladder on the pattern, or it would be the overextended retouch at 37.63. But we still got a long bit of work to do before we ever get there. So that's on the USD chart. Now, if we look at the BitGet chart in relation to USDT, so we can start, well, this is the perpetual chart. We'll do the USDT chart first to try to get a build up. This is that uptrending resistance that used to be a very strong support line that we've talked about in the past. If you're new, we can take this out a little bit farther just so you can see what we're looking at. That's the bear flag breakdown, and then these were levels of resistance that it would have to touch that were former levels of support resistance at the top, and that's a bear flag that was created outside of the falling channel descending triangle. Now you have an ascending triangle bear flag, which is are usually bearish reversals at the top. It broke down once we got to the top of it. Now we're back testing this right now. That's all we're doing. All we're doing is back testing this, and if we don't break this uptrending resistance on this bear flag or this ascending triangle, we're at 33.886. We have to break and hold and get over the top and then get on top of the 200-day at 34.40. And then we might be able to make a run up to 40 cents with USDT. But there's a lot of work to do in between, and I want everybody to understand. The XRP USD perpetual chart in relation to BitGet. This is the bear flag we were in. As you can see, we broke out of it. This is the bear flag. We're back testing right now in this area of 33.33. If we hold that in the 4-hour time frame, that you're seeing a possible cross happen here in the 20-day and the estimated moving averages. This is where the technical traders are lining up. If this continues to move up like this, I see no reason why it can't come up to at least 34.88 and then possibly make a return rally all the way up to probably not 37, but maybe make a return up to 35.94. Like I said, there's a lot that needs to be done. These are still bearish continuation patterns. These are normal retests at the end of the day, and if you just want to do the uptrend, that's exactly how it looks. It's exactly how it looks. There's no reason to even sugarcoat the pattern. And even on the USD perpetual chart with BitGet, you can still get a nice reasonable pattern here. You just go back and do it properly. That's why if it doesn't break down, we've got a chance to come all the way up here, and the pattern suggests as much, the 38.72. Now, will it come all the way up to 43 cents? Likely not. The next area would only probably come up to about 39.16, 38.72, depending on where you come up. So that's a deep dive into XRP and what I'm seeing. If you would like to get algo and all of the other ISO coins that I'm going to cover and do deep dives on, join Tom's Army, $9.99 a month. I don't want to cloud it up on my main page here, but in the members area, starting likely today or tomorrow, depending on the feedback, I'm going to start putting in updates to the members only area that involves only the ISO coins. So XRP, XLM, DGB will be here. Bitcoin will be here. But Algo, IOTA, if I get into HBAR, XDC, and XDC will be on here still. XDC is part of what I like to do. So XDC will be covered on here. But in the members area, there's going to be a lot of content here in the future. Try to drum up some support for Tom's Army so that I can keep this content free without advertising. But you guys have to do your part. I do my part every day. Your part is, if you're getting something out of this, or if you made a lot of money on the way up, or you've saved a lot of money on the way down by being liquidated, you need to help support the channel at $9.99 a month if you don't want to see endless advertising in here, because I got to pay the bills one way or another. And right now, Tom's Army has helped me keep it covered. We've had a bit of a decrease lately, but that's okay. That happens. Markets are down. People are struggling. But if you can afford it, $9.99, join Tom's Army. Keep this content free. And keep me on YouTube. If you want to see other content where I'm getting pulled in two directions, look no farther than TikTok. Yesterday I showed you we had 500 followers. We're up to 572 today. The views are absolutely kicking the shit out of my YouTube channel. 5,100 views, 4,600 views, and these were just put out a day or two ago. The ones yesterday, it takes a minute to get through the algorithm, 292 and 251 and 2,416. But I started to put out official documents for the SEC versus Ripple. Hell, I even did one on a squirrel and I got 15,000 views, or on a rat. So if you want to see some additional content, these videos are going up like crazy. The views are going up like crazy. It's been spectacular. This one's got 4,000 views, and I'm just putting out a lot of different style information than I do on YouTube. So 572 views there. That is a great alternative to try to find information from me. Also, Bitcoin. Another I want to read this to everybody because this is important about Mt. Gox. This is 22 hours ago. Another 5,000 Bitcoin source from Mt. Gox wake up after close to 9 years of dormancy. Last week, Bitcoin.com news reported on two old Bitcoin addresses created in 2013 sending 10,001 Bitcoin to a myriad of wallets. Heuristics and clustering techniques indicate that the Bitcoins were associated with Mt. Gox roughly around the same time the exchange was hacked in June 2011. 5 days later, 5,000 Bitcoin were transferred from a wallet created on the same day in 2013, and the stash of coins were also connected to Mt. Gox in some type of fashion. The on-chain tale of 15,001 Bitcoin associated with Mt. Gox saga. Another 5,000 so-called sleeping Bitcoins from a wallet created on December 19, 2013 were transferred on September 4, 2022. The action caught by BTCparser.com took place 5 days after the 10,001 Bitcoin BTC moved from two Bitcoin addresses created close to 9 years ago on the same day in 2013. The 5,000 Bitcoin sent on Sunday, September 4, 2022 have a mysterious history as they are associated with the now defunct Mt. Gox Bitcoin exchange right around the same time the exchange was hacked in June 2011. In June 2011, Mt. Gox was hacked, and reports at the time noted that 25,000 Bitcoin was stolen from the exchange that was siphoned out of 478 accounts. After the breach, an individual published a Mt. Gox user base on Pastebin in plain text with hashed passwords. On Sunday, June 19, 2011, Mt. Gox saw volatile trading activity, and that day, Bitcoin's price dropped from $17 per unit to 1 cent per unit. 2,000 Bitcoin was reportedly stolen on June 19, 2011 as well. The Bitcoin address 1MCUC is somehow associated with the Mt. Gox saga and was created on June 19, 2011. The Bitcoin address 1MCUC is also connected to the 15,001 Bitcoin that moved on August 28th, August 29th, and September 4th, 2022. When our news desk reported on the 10,001 Bitcoin associated with Mt. Gox, there wasn't much fanfare about the coins moving. CoinDesk columnist Jocelyn Yang, however, discussed the situation with a data engineer at Coinmetrics. The engineer said that Bitcoins from 2013 may have been associated with an old Kraken cold storage address, a Kraken OTC over-the-counter deal, or a Kraken user. Then on September 3rd, 2022, the OXT researcher ErgoBTC published a Twitter thread that cited our report quoting OXT user Teza, the admin of the GFI's channel Telegram group, by referring to the work of a well-informed OXT user, Bitcoin.com, much closer to the mark than CoinDesk, Ergnat said. Despite a Kraken deposit, these coins are not sourced from Kraken. They are, however, sourced from Mt. Gox and possibly controlled by Jed McCaleb, guys. This is the connection. Listen to this. Jed fucking McCaleb. This is what I was trying to get into. So they said that it belonged to Jed McCaleb. So listen to this. Ergo further discussed the two addresses 1 and 2 and explained how OXT can backtrack the source of the coins. Doing so leads to a large cluster with a user annotation. BTC details the user annotations to this cluster links to a blog post by Wise Security Blog. Wise is the Mt. Gox saga expert. The blog post referenced an address belonging to Jed McCaleb and wrongfully claimed by CSW. The Twitter thread further explains that the second transaction for 5,000 Bitcoin was clearly made to Coinbase, the OXT researcher added. So they tried to say it was McCaleb's address. Listen, this is awesome. Evidenced by the telltale denomination splitting with secondary splits down to 10 Bitcoin. Splits are co-spent with Coinbase clustered address. These coins are sourced from the Gox saga and possibly controlled by Jed McCaleb. 2 TXS for 5,000 Bitcoin were sent to crack into Coinbase. Another strange transaction associated with Mt. Gox moves on September 4th. And I can prove about Jed McCaleb. So from June 26, 2019, Mt. Gox founder Jed McCaleb has been accused in court of hiding issues at the now collapsed exchange before selling it to Mark Capellis. So that's right. Jed McCaleb was the Mt. Gox founder. Keep that straight. I only had to share that because a lot of people didn't believe me when I said that he actually was the creator of the Mt. Gox exchange and then sold it. But a lot of people told me I was full of shit. So there you go. I love tying things in when I can. At block height 752,637 on September 4, 2022, 5,000 Bitcoin was sent from 18xGH, and the address was created on the same day, December 19, 2013, as the two addresses that sent 10,001 Bitcoin on Sunday, August 28th, and Monday, August 29, 2022. Moreover, by backtracking the transactions, 5,000 Bitcoin are also connected to the Mt. Gox saga, and the address 1UC at the time of writing, the address BC1QP, held 4,929.43 Bitcoin that stemmed from the 5,000 sent on Sunday. By Monday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Time, the coins were dispersed to a myriad of multi-signature Bitcoin address. Bitcoin.com news spoke with the admin of the GFI's channel, Telegram group Tayashi, about the latest movement. So I just want to read this last part. I know this is long, but this is fantastic. The situation is quite strange, Tayashi told Bitcoin.com news. The dev of OXT.me confirmed to us that, in his opinion, the Bitcoins are indeed connected with Mt. Gox and possibly belong to Jed McCaleb. The GFIS channel administrator, who said she spoke with the former Mt. Gox CEO, Mark Capellis, who did not directly confirm this information, although he did not rule out that it was close to the truth. If these are really Michaela's Bitcoins, why won't he make a statement to stop speculation on this topic? Tyza also asked during her conversation with Bitcoin.com news, and returning to the original question, why are all these movements going on right now in the midst of the FUD with trustee payments and Vinic's recent extradition to the United States? Once again, a blockchain parser, on-chain analysis, and heuristics discovered thousands of Bitcoin with an interesting past. These ancient Bitcoin that sat idle for close to 9 years only to wake up when Bitcoin is trading for 19.9K. It should be noted that these coins have absolutely nothing to do with Bitcoin payments associated with the Mt. Gox trustee, except for mere coincidental timing with the trustee's latest update. Presently, Mt. Gox creditors have not seen a hard date set for payment distribution, despite rumors and inaccurate reports last week saying that this was the case. So, unbelievable. So, Jed McCaleb, there's your proof that he created Mt. Gox exchange, and now is in some whirlwinds here.